Hello, welcome to the I'm Angry, Annoyed, and Amused podcast. You're on with Mike. Next to me is Matt.
What's up?
Over there is Johnny.
Yo.
Across the table is the other Mike.
Hello.
Today, we are going to get started. Actually, Matt's going to get started talking about, well, he's going to lead into a car insurance nightmare that he's got going on.
It's just,
If you want to just pop it off.
well, all right. Well, if you listen to season 1,
Matt never spoke,
version
and now
one of
he's
this
going to be
podcast,
speaking.
it was like the first episode, maybe or the second episode, whatever. When I was going to record the podcast and I got a ticket, and everybody at this table was complaining that I wasn't angry about this ticket, because I just figured, whatever. Because I really don't think a ticket was for phone use. I really don't think I was on my phone, whatever. I paid the ticket. I just figured, it wasn't worth. I didn't want to dispute it or anything. I didn't want to go through the whole process of it. All right, well, here we are, 10 months later, 11 months later, whatever, and I'm trying to buy a car. So I got the loan. I was able to buy the car, and then turns out I couldn't get insurance for myself, and so when I had first went in, the prices were really high, and I was like, it's more than I want to pay, but I understand.
It's more than anyone wants to pay.
Well, no, not that. No, initially, before I had even put in the ticket, it was more than I wanted to pay, but it wasn't.
Wait, how much was it without the ticket?
It was like $8,000 a year, I think.
That's
still
something
Which
wrong.
is
That's
still
still a
really
ton.
high. It was
Can I
still
just-
really high.
Before you even start that, how did they give you the car without the insurance?
That was my question to him as well.
So what happened?
what kind of
was-
a
what
gazy
happened
car
was
company
I-
did you
so
buy?
I
It's
was-
Tesla.
It's Tesla. So I was told when I went to order the car.
I pay him too well.
When I went to order the car, right? I asked my dad. I was like, are you 100% sure that this car can be in my name and I could put it on your insurance? And he goes, yeah. And I was like, okay. So I put in my information and I bought the car. And then they asked for proof of insurance, so I went to add it, and lo and behold, you can't. You have to on your policy. It has to be you or your spouse has to be the registered owner of the car. So I was like, well, that's not gonna work. So I asked Tesla if I could change the registered owner of the car, but the registered owners of the car also has to be named on the loan.
Right.
So that's a mess. So then I was like, okay, let me try and get my own insurance. So I went to get my own insurance, and I really forgot about the ticket, honestly, because
Because it was,
it just
I
seemed
don't
like
care.
nothing. Yeah, like it just seemed like nothing at the time. So I forgot about it. So I put it in again. It was expensive, but it was like I was able to pay it. I was stretching thin, but I was able to pay it. And I just figured, for a couple of years, or really, I was just gonna try and go back in 6 months
$8,000.
and change it. And I was just like,
What was the cheapest quote you got?
that was
$8,000.
only one place gave me a quote. It was Geico for $8,000.
No one else would even
No
give
one
you a
else would
quote?
give me a quote. No one else would approve me.
He must have a secretly terrible driving
Something-
record.
No, I do. I do
Right?
have one accident. I do
Great.
have an accident. I have
Oh,
one.
you didn't
accident.
mention that.
Oh,
No,
that's-
yeah.
but still, I mean-
the ticket was like I said, the one accident. Yeah, that was what they.
Wait,
and
he's
I
saying-
knew that was going to happen
Wait, but you're okay. Wait, so you priced it out before
before
Wait,
I added the ticket. It was
so,
$8,000 with
wait.
the accident, including the accident.
it was $8,000 with the ticket.
Without the ticket.
Without the ticket. And
With
then
the ticket at
with the ticket at
$36,000.
That's what I'm saying. So 8,000.
so crazy.
That's insane.
Wait, that's what I'm saying. So
It's like a median salary in most of the country.
That's what I'm saying. So it was 8,000 with the ticket.
Without the ticket.
With the car crash. He
No,
has an accident.
With
He has an
the
accident.
With your age, with your inexperience, with the accident,
with no ticket.
With no ticket, it's $8,000.
with no ticket.
It's
Okay.
$8,000.
With
Then
the
you
ticket,
So I was
add
like,
the
I was like,
36.
okay. I was like, okay.
For a
It's
ticket
stretching
for changing
myself
your
thin.
radio while you were driving.
Yeah, I was like,
effectively.
it's
Something's
stretching.
wrong.
I was like,
That's
it's
crazy.
stretching me thin, but like I understand, and like my accident was almost
Wait,
3 years
can we take a
out,
moment?
which
He's
apparently
okay. He said it would stretch me thin. $8,000 a year for insurance. You're okay with that?
I'm not okay with it, but if it was my only option, which it was, I was.
This is because he's not paying
mean,
gas and charging it in his
To his
parents'
point,
house.
it's way more manageable than
like
36.
yeah, it's like
When you buy a
I
multitude,
can
like a
handle it,
multitude.
and,
Well,
and not for
Matt,
nothing.
you could pay me $8,000 a year. If you have an accident, call me. We'll take care, we'll take care of everything.
I offered him basically the same deal.
So that's what gets me. It's not even that. You can't have a car without insurance.
Yeah, well, if
No,
you
you
get pulled
don't.
over,
You
you'll...
shouldn't have been
Like-
able to get the car out of the lot or wherever you got it from without the insurance.
No.
That's what I.
You can't. I
That's
can't.
can't.
I don't have the car. I can't.
Wait, but
I
before
can't
we-
pick up
You
the
don't
car
have
without
the
the
car.
insurance.
Oh, so you're good.
Exactly.
So you're good.
No, before we go forward,
Sort of
then,
no harm, no
you
foul. You
priced
just can't
it,
get a
and
car.
then
Why?
and-
Yeah, there was a deposit. Right.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Cancel
but-
the car.
Wait, okay, we can move
All right,
forward.
hold on. I haven't gone through the story yet.
I
guys.
know. That's why
Relax.
they're asking where the car is. I want to know the rest of the story. How we get to this new
Okay,
price?
I'm going. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Would you stop biting at me today? I'm not the dealership.
Whatever. Anyway,
Whatever.
whatever. It was $8,000 a year. I was like, it's stretching me thin, but apparently, like, there were places I called that said call back when the accident is 3 years. It'll be 3 years in February. So I was like, okay, 6-month policy, whatever, and then I'll try and get lowered. I'll take that stupid like defensive driving course or whatever, like try and lower it more, and I'll go back in 6 months and try and lower it, whatever. I was like, I'm not happy with it, but it's fine. Then I remembered the ticket, and I was like, all right. So I put in the ticket, and it went from $8,000 a year to $36,000 a year. It was $3,000 a month. Like I don't even make that much money.
Could it be because it's a Tesla?
So
Because like $8,000. Well, I'm thinking because like red cars apparently have higher insurance premium than any other color cars.
So the thing is,
because you're more likely to drive fast. Like it's all that kind of stuff.
Besides the red car, I hit every box.
Well, you're a kid
to raise it. I'm young. I've been in an accident. I've gotten a ticket. It's a
You're
newer car.
And
It's
stupid.
a loan. I'm a
You're
man,
male,
and
yeah.
it's a
You're not married.
and it's like a.
But still, like,
it's considered
I-
by some places like Geico. I know, even though it's really a lower end car, they consider every car made by Tesla to be luxury by default.
That's what
So
I'm
it's
thinking. Because like I drive a Buick, and I was getting quotes just to get off my parents' insurance, and mine was expensive. It was like $4,000, and I thought that was expensive because that's a good bit of money. Like it's much more expensive than what my parents were paying.
Yeah.
So like that was a lot, but it's also a 2016, 2015? 2017. It's a 2017 Buick, so it's like not
2 years.
you know,
paid
I don't
more
know a
than
new
the car's
model
value.
Tesla. Like I know it goes up, but like obviously 36 is insane.
That's out of control. But your insurance in general is out of control.
So
My insurance is doubled.
That's my problem.
the
I
last 3
don't
years.
understand. I just don't.
So imagine Matt's next year.
I just don't get
60 grand.
I don't. The car isn't worth that much money. It's worth the assurance policy for a year would be worth. I can total the car. They wouldn't give me back the money that I would pay for a year of insurance.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still.
That doesn't. Something's
still-
wrong. Like something's actually wrong there, right?
I've never
That's what I'm
heard of
thinking.
that, but
Well,
I mean, I guess it's possible.
They don't always look at.
Can
They're
you
not
put it
always
up on-
looking
can
at the
you-
value of
They
the
don't
car.
look. No,
Can
so
you get
I-
a quote
You
on
can
your
kill
computer right now?
somebody
I
and be
messaged someone.
sued.
I guess.
I
but-
messaged. I actually messaged. Geico. So I spoke to a lot of representatives on the phone because a lot of places wouldn't give quotes online. Only Geico would actually.
I learned that.
And so I like went on like their live chat and I went to a representative and I was like, look, I know you have nothing to do with the algorithm that decides it, but can you give me like some insight as to how it's so much more than the value of the car? And he's like, yeah, there's other things that come into play, whatever. And he's like, my recommendation is go to other companies. I'm like, dude, I called every insurance company. None of them would get it. He's like, I'm sure you didn't try all of them. I'm like,
call the
no.
General?
I called the
was
general.
good.
I
You
called
call-
the general.
I can never get the
called-
number for the
I
General.
called Farmers. I can't. Like,
Farmers is expensive.
I called a broker to get it, and
Brokers
and
are
the broker
expensive,
was
too.
like, yeah, none of my contacts will take you.
When we were
believe this.
when we first got our motorcycles, we were all young. We had an insurance lady who worked out of her house in Staten Island. I don't know what the name, like a no-name company. I don't know where we got this lady from. We used to have to go pick up our insurance cards from her house in Staten Island. You maybe need something like that.
My dad said,
You could find one
my
of
dad.
those.
So I asked him actually because I was like, how did you not know that I couldn't get on like I couldn't insure this if I owned the car on your policy? And he's like, look, the first time I got insurance, I walked into some place. The guy said you're insured, and I walked out. And that was the insurance.
That's the way it used to go. It was kind of like that. It
Is he
was
still?
really different.
Is he still using the guy? Though? Like,
He said,
how does he
Probably
not
cheap.
know how
Probably
insurance
cheap.
has changed?
But I don't know. He said he walked in. He said the guy didn't give him a car. Didn't give him anything. He just said you're insured. And that was it.
Wow.
It's
Go Bobby.
Insurance is out of control though.
Yeah.
My
What
insurance
is the
not.
driver behind that though? Is it straight up just the inflation, or is it there? Because it seems like it's
I
outpacing
think they
even
priced
that,
me out.
right?
It's
I
like,
think that was- they
it's
didn't
up like
want me to do it.
48%.
I guess. I mean, if that's really like if they can just make a decision, they're like we can't technically say it, but insurers can choose to not insure somebody, right? They
Yes.
have that right.
Yes, they
So it's
do.
weird that they
Yeah.
would say like it's going to be
Yeah, so
double
they-
your car as opposed to just going you're too much of a risk
Well, I guess they-
between
We can't do it.
between your age, the accident, we
guess-
just can't do it.
I
Like
guess
that's so
for them
weird that they
it's
would
a-
price you out as opposed to just saying we're not going to offer you insurance.
I guess for them it's kind of a win-win because they figure if
You might
if you
say
are
yes.
priced out, they don't take the risk. But if you happen to be rich,
they're making a ton.
Then they're making
like
a lot of
making
money.
killing, I guess. But that just seems
You know?
that seems silly to
but
me.
yeah,
Like
and
it
it's
just doesn't
insane
make sense
because they can all refuse you. I know because almost all of them.
yeah,
refuse
they're
me.
I mean that's part
and
of their.
yet you're required to have insurance on the car legally. I don't get. So
Yeah.
you cannot be eligible for insurance. You can have the money to buy a car, get approved for the loan to buy a car, and not get approved by the insurance by private companies, and then legally by the state you can't own the car. I don't like.
Yeah, I don't understand
It's
that.
so
I mean, it's
annoying.
all it's all part of this whole
Oh,
apparatus of
more
insurance.
frequent
BS. Like
more,
the whole
more
insurance-
frequent and severe claims, as well as more expensive vehicle repair and replacement costs. I mean, that's one article.
But just in like across the country, like that's so there's just more accidents. They're saying.
And
That's
the
probably more
cost of
accidents.
replacement.
But that's
is it
not
parts?
even fair
Oh,
because
parts
there's
and
more
stuff.
expensive.
there would only
you
be
know,
So
more,
it's really just a general
the parts
economic-
make sense.
Yeah.
But
But
economic
you know what? House
downturn.
insurance is up too. So
there's
No,
only
everything,
more.
yeah.
There's only more accidents because there's more drivers.
But there's still more accidents, though.
still more accidents.
Right, but that's more people paying insurance. It's not like the
I
same
don't-
amount of drivers were
Yeah, but
on
the
the road.
insurance
And then
company-
But
more-
insurance
still need
always
to make
pays
all
out
their
more
money.
than they're trying to make money. Yeah,
But the
they're
worst-
not they're not actually trying to help you.
Right,
They're
exactly.
trying to make money.
Make
They're
money.
hoping you never get in an accident and you just pay them tons of money.
Yeah,
You said
I-
one
They
of
don't
the
want to
reasons-
help you. They don't
Whatever
want your
they
insurance to
is
pay
not
out
what
well.
you've paid over your lifetime.
no.
incident
no, I
anyway,
get.
so it doesn't matter.
that's what I'm saying. I don't
That's the way
understand.
all insurance
And how
works.
one of the reasons,
Yeah,
they
like
said
health insurance is ridiculous.
one of the reasons it went up was the price of
Just more
repairs,
accidents.
right? You said
Vehicle repair.
Like,
Which
it's
I
'cause
feel
car
like-
parts,
The
car
parts are
car
more
parts are
expensive.
cheaper. I mean, they're more expensive because
Well-
of inflation, but they're cheaper than they used to be back then in steel. And half the interior of a car is now a computer. Like
Yeah.
the old clusters, those things must have been a lot more than a little digital display.
No, but
So
yeah,
they're
I don't know.
faking-
I
they
was
charge
thinking more so
No,
like
part
with
of
the
the problem
COVID
is
stuff
getting
that
the
the
parts,
logistics
right?
got all
Getting
messed
the-
up.
yeah,
I mean,
that
you would
stuff.
think that's bounced
I
back
think
by
that's
now
part
to a
of it,
fair,
but I don't think it has.
to a good level.
No,
I know.
but
I don't
even
know.
if
I'm
it
just
did,
saying.
the
I-
prices
I don't know,
don't
not
go-
for me.
they
I was
never
gonna
go
say
That's true.
one-
They
down.
never put them
That's
back
the
down.
problem.
Exactly,
They never
that's
do
it.
that. Yeah, that's probably
When
a
I-
large part of
when
it.
I called my house insurance this week to find out, because I was telling other Mike this before, mine was $700 when I moved in like 3 years ago. It's over $2,000 now. So I called them to like see if they can do anything. They're like, no. And the lady was really nice. She's like, no, but you should shop around. I was like, well, that helped.
That's what they keep
That's what
telling
they tell
me.
you.
Yeah,
That's what they keep
shop
telling me,
around.
Shop around.
So I was like, why is it going up so much? And I felt like a little child because she's like, have you gone to the grocery store lately? I'm like, yeah. She goes, I went to the grocery store with my family, and what used to cost me $50 is now like $150. I'm like, okay.
But how does that tie into
I'm like,
home
why is my
insurance?
home insurance more? I'm not getting anything for it.
I'm buying your groceries. Is that
That's
what-
the thing.
This
Yeah.
guy,
And then she was like, well, the inflation went up. I'm like,
They're just gonna blame
all right,
inflation.
stop
and,
blaming
say,
everything. Why is my
they're just gonna
insurance
blame
that
it-
much?
inflation.
slight
Let me look
tangent,
that up and see.
slight tangent because it's not inflation, but just feeling like a kid. I got so mad so quickly. I was recently I was in Colorado and I was renting a car, and it was the first time I could rent a car because like you have to be 25 anyway. But nonetheless, so we went to what was it, Hertz, right? And a couple days before, like Monday, we were going on Thursday. On Monday, me and my roommate were looking at the things, and it's like, let's say it's I don't know 200 a day or it was 110 a day, right, to rent a car, and we had it for like 4 days. Then I go to book it. I didn't book it that night, stupidly. It is my fault. And then I go the night before we're leaving. So Wednesday night, I go again, and it's more than doubled. It's now $240 a day. So I reserve it because I didn't have to pay anyway. I was like, let me reserve it. If worse comes to worse, I'll just have to pay the extra. It's my fault. Like I wasn't blaming Hertz or anything.
Right.
But I go and I was like, I wonder what, obviously I understand like the way pricing works of if you're getting it the next day. But we get there, there's 1 million cars in the lot. There's like 6 people waiting. And I go up to talk to the guy. And I was like, hey, like I'm just wondering, I looked at this on Monday. For the same car, it was less than half. I was like, it doubled in 2 days. And I was like, and it was always this weekend. It's not like I was booking it out in advance. And the guy's, well, supply and demand, right? And I so badly,
You want to smack that guy, I'm sure.
so badly wanted to jump across the table. I was like, yeah, dude, but that's not what this is. That's not what this is. That's straight up not what this is. You're wrong and you're an idiot. Supply and demand isn't timing of like, oh, well, you need it tomorrow. You're here. So we're going to charge you whatever we want. That's not supply and demand.
Yeah.
That's not a supply and demand curve, Matt. What you're thinking of is if somebody needs it. I was using you as an example for the
I
audience.
was gonna say,
What he's talking about, you were just like the.
I couldn't see Matt's face. I was like, what did Matt do to me?
Yeah, he
I
was
was
just
gonna say,
thinking. He was just thinking, but I was using it.
I know
because
this
what
now.
this guy's talking about is pretty much price gouging, and he was
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
like, well, you get price gouging, right? Like that's what he said to me. Like, well, you need the car tomorrow or today at this point,
And
so we can just charge you whatever we want.
Yep.
And I'm like, all right. So I just laughed. I was like, is there a hold on the thing? I was like, I never gave my credit card number. I hadn't. So I was like, will you guys still hold the car? I'm going to go try some of the other, like, shop around. I was like, they're all around here. I was like, I'll just go to some of the other ones. And he's like, no, it's like on hold for 24 hours. Like if you come back, same price. So I was like, all right. So I went down the block to Avis, got it like knocked off half the, back to like what it initially was.
Oh, okay.
I got a nice Ford Expedition. Beautiful car.
Oh, beautiful.
Beautiful car. But it was so annoying.
Plug for
So
Avis.
annoying. Oh my God. Yeah, plug for Avis. Good Thank you guys. It was actually really nice. It was really nice.
Plug everybody. Somebody may call us someday.
Yeah.
Okay, homeowners insurance is up because of
Oh, well, there we go.
extreme weather events and catastrophes, rising material costs, and skilled labor shortages.
Skilled labor shortage? Mm-hmm. Well, that's weird because anytime I call a construction worker, there's a lot of skilled ones charging me an arm and a leg.
An arm and a leg, right?
Yeah, so I don't know how that's
But why would that increase homeowners insurance? Like, you already own a home. You're like, I'm living in a house that's built.
Because in the event,
Right, like-
in the event they have to pay out, it costs more of a payout now to cover whatever damages you have.
Like,
It's insane.
What? But wait,
what I mean is, if you're already, like, your premiums are going up, right? It's one thing to, right now, I'm buying a house, premiums are super high. But they're also, it's increasing for everybody who owns a house.
Because if there's damage to my house, it's still going to cost more to fix.
Ah, okay. I follow.
You know
I follow.
what's the
That's-
best?
that's the theory.
You know what's the best fee on all?
So it all really is related to inflation.
Just all together. It's just all one big.
That's how they roll it. You know what my favorite fee is on insurance? The little police fee.
I don't even know what that is.
If you look on your insurance, you pay to the police department some weird amount of money. It's like
what?
it's like a couple of dollars a month. Look that up. New York City or New York State pays a police fee on their insurance.
Are you still paying it today?
Yeah, you pay it all the time.
Then it's New York State.
Oh yeah, maybe not.
I don't know. I mean, I guess, obviously inflation's bad all around, but
But what I don't get is okay, everything goes up, and we already know that for inflation. We've discussed it. But if I don't use any of my insurance, how come I don't get anything back? Like, I feel like I should
Because
get
then the
a
insurance
kickback.
companies wouldn't make any money.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
it's not
I agree.
fair.
I agree with Johnny. I've thought about
I
this
mean, I
with
think
health
they
insurance.
should. I think
Yeah.
they should.
Because
Don't
like,
get me wrong. but
I'm
they
not
wouldn't make any
paying.
money
I'm not
whatsoever.
paying crazy premiums or anything, like personally. But like, knock on wood, I haven't gotten hurt. Like, I haven't gotten like very sick or anything. And I don't plan to, sort of thing.
Right.
But I'm like, but I'm paying all this money, and it's going into a pool in my name, ideally.
Right.
But like, I'm never gonna see it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then it's like, what annoys me the worst, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but on my insurance, if I, God forbid, got cancer, that's not going to cover my cancer.
No.
So it's like, if you get really sick,
You're screwed.
We're going to let you die. If you're like not very hurt, why even go?
Right.
So like, what do you cover? Like a sprained ankle? I don't need
The basics.
but I don't need insurance for a sprained ankle.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's so I'm like, so what do you
There was
really?
one.
What are you
there-
covering
there
me
was
in
one
case
insurance
of?
company that said they paid you back, right?
There
That'd be
was.
good.
Safe driving and
It
stuff.
did, but
I
I
don't know
think
if they
that went
still have
away.
that.
I don't remember who that was.
You said the police thing is on your home insurance? Or
No,
your
it's on
car?
my car insurance.
Oh yeah, that's you.
You
Did
did,
you
say,
find it?
You did say home insurance.
Did I? No, I
Yeah,
said.
I think you said
Oh,
home.
You did say
I
home.
apologize.
But
Rewind the tape. We'll redo that.
That's crazy though. 36,000.
What is it? Did you find it?
for car insurance?
It just
Here.
doesn't make any sense. Like I don't understand.
Other Mike's got the fax is going to drop.
What does it go to? For policies with a term of 6 months or less, insurer must collect a $5 fee per insured vehicle. It doesn't say what it's for.
But it's for the police department, right?
Yeah.
I
Weird.
think it helps fund what they do for insurance purposes.
That's crazy. If you really dig into any of these things, you just get so mad.
Yeah.
Because it's just absurd. Like any of the things, if you
They
really
all
like,
have
what are
weird
you
fees.
what are you charging me for?
Yeah.
Motor
And it's
vehicle
like,
law
I don't know.
enforcement fee.
Yeah.
Fee
Fun?
collected by New York State is supposed to go toward fighting car thefts and fraud.
There you go.
Oh my god.
So
But
Great.
okay, but an audit found that the program was poorly run. So, but they're still collecting.
but they're still collecting it.
What a joke.
That's what I'm saying. And if
All
your
those
car gets
kinds of
stolen,
stuff,
do I get
man.
my $5 back?
Nope.
Just the $5. Just the
Nope.
$5. That's all.
You don't
I
get
Give you a
anything. You don't
$30,000
get
quote.
anything.
Get $30,000.
Call them up and complain. They're gonna
It's
pay-
like
your insurance is now $30,000. That's how they're going to stop everybody from driving.
That is everybody just lost. Yeah. No. That. Yeah. I
Well,
mean, if you
no.
get conspiratorial
No,
about it,
not
yeah.
because there's tons of uninsured drivers out there. So somewhere in New York, in certain cities, in certain locations, you could go down a block and buy a car, right? So these guys are buying cars that are, pretty much, out of warranty, out of everything. They buy the car and they sell it on a street corner. And no insurance. They put fake plates on them, and off you go.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody's going to be driving.
Crazy.
There's enough.
But
of them
they're like
driving around
forcing.
now.
That's good because
But they're like forcing it in, which
Yeah.
is weird.
and those people don't have to pay for tolls
Yeah, and then,
or anything.
and then I'll
Nope,
get in
they don't
trouble.
pay
It's
for
not my
anything.
not my fault. Trust me, I tried to go legit.
Man,
Don't you think it all hits like a point though?
tried.
Like there really is a breaking point that
I
they
keep-
can't squeeze that much out of
I keep
everybody
thinking
in the
that, but
world.
no one's breaking yet. And it's
I know. I
driving me
just
wild.
imagine it's like got to be
If I get
coming.
a $36,000 quote,
Yeah,
I'm
well,
broke.
me,
I'll tell
I
you that
broke.
right
Oh,
now.
I'd go
I
insane.
can't. Yeah, me, I
I'd-
broke.
I'd
Matt,
go
I have a
insane.
favor I need for you to do this week.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you the VIN number to one of my cars, and you're going to call a couple insurance companies and do the same thing just to see how much it is. I do want to see if it's how different it is because it's the Tesla.
Sure. I'll do it on. Give me your VIN number.
Do it right
go,
now.
go outside. Give me your VIN number. I'll do it on.
We're going to call. Oh, we'll do it right now. There we go.
Well, my laptop's
do it
dead. I'll do it on my
Let's
phone.
Do it
now.
live.
Do it
What's
live.
Go get your VIN number.
Got it. Let's go. I have my VIN number on my app, which is on my
It says
phone.
on your phone.
Oh, all right. So in a
Take a
minute. We'll do
picture.
it. We'll do it in
Well, whatever,
between.
We'll do it in
We'll
between.
do it in between the
But
show.
it's like
We'll have to do a.
Yeah.
We'll bring it up
I
at
do.
the next one.
Bring it in.
Like definitely. But your car is expensive too, though.
We'll do Lee's.
Yeah. All right.
It's cheaper.
Let's see. Maybe I got my VIN number.
Oh.
But yeah, it's insane. I mean, like, yeah, and like I said, I understand. I check all the boxes. Like that's what the most infuriating part is. Like, I understand. I check all the boxes. It's a newer car. It's like quote unquote a luxury car, not really, but it's like considered a luxury car. Like I've had an accident, I had a ticket. I'm young, I'm a man, whatever. But it's not. My problem isn't paying too much
Hold
for
up.
car
Here,
insurance.
try
I
this.
will
Try
pay
this.
too
There's
much.
a VIN number right there. Just try that.
No, I mean 36 is.
Wait,
is,
I want
yeah, impossible.
I will pay too
Wait,
much.
could
for
you
car
not
insurance.
identify?
I cannot pay.
No, because no, because they're not talking about gender. When it's a car, they want your sex,
It's assigned to birth.
not your gender. Because apparently, I guess if you're a transgender woman, you still drive like a male,
Oh boy.
not a man.
Are you
Not a
guessing?
man.
That's a different.
Not a man. A male.
Are you? Are
Which
you?
is a sexual
are you
category.
guessing this, or you
no, no,
saying-
no,
swear to God,
no,
you can
no.
only put male or
Insurance
female,
companies,
for
it's
sure.
sex.
Yeah, you could only
It's
put male or
not
female.
gender.
Correct.
You can have any gender
right.
you want. You have a assigned sex at birth. You can't change that.
Yeah, and
These are
apparently-
the new
So-
rules. I
And
swear to God.
No, I swear.
This is a
That's
real
true.
thing. They're
you
asking
know
for your
this?
sex. This is the fact because the insurance company they get away with going no, you can be whatever gender you want, but at the end of the day, you drive like how you were born, which to me
So they-
kind of throws like the,
whole
whole
thing,
argument
yeah.
back in the face of the
Exactly,
thing.
it does.
And they're getting
Because
away
they're
with
making
that.
money. Because who's gonna
Because you
who's
have
gonna
to
break
get car
out?
insurance. Because you
What
have to.
what congressman's gonna go to
So the
fight
government-
the insurance companies?
Right,
Come
exactly.
on, they're not gonna do that. And the insurance company, they're like, yeah, we care about being progressive and all this until it's like our money. Then it's like, well, no, we're just gonna take whatever risk we deem, if we think, which apparently it's the numbers bear it out, and I'm sure it makes sense that males
Yeah.
are in more they drive faster,
drive
all these
faster,
things.
they're crazy.
They're like, we don't really care what you present as. You got that, like you got the blood in you or whatever. Like,
funny.
It's
you know what I
insane.
mean?
Yeah.
Which is
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah,
Wow.
but nobody's gonna
Because it's
fight
like,
the
well, so
insurance
what's the
companies
come on?
on
Like,
kills
let's
the
be
whole-
like,
it
let's all be
crushes
on
the whole argument.
up and up about this. I
It
know,
kills the
I
whole
know.
argument.
But that's how they hide around it because like now
Wow.
the whole thing is like, well, sex is a thing, and is sort of binary, or it is in the sense of it, and then but gender is whatever. But then the
It's
whole
socially-
the sexual
socially.
binary thing gets also not messed up, but like called into question because of the all like Kleinfeld, not Kleinfelders. I don't know, like XXY, those kinds of things
Right,
that are
right.
like technically your sex, your biological sex, is also altered in some way. But nobody really debates. Everybody's like, yeah, sex is a binary. Gender though is a spectrum, and but the insurance company's like, so we don't care about that.
Anybody else have that exception?
No,
What do you mean?
seriously.
Well, it depends
Any
if
other
it's
industry have that
I-
exception?
You could think if you just think through them. If it's a risk assessment thing, it's always going to assume
Yeah.
that a male is a
a
male.
male.
It's not going to say, oh
Right,
well,
what should
you
you do?
present.
It
We're
is
gonna
mostly
because that would
insurance
be
and
cheaper
then,
rates. Like I would just say, yeah, I'm a girl right now,
Yeah.
or like I'm non-binary for this one, and then I would have cheaper rates. But they're not gonna give you an out
Right.
on paying more money, so they'll never let that go.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's crazy. It really is.
That's a screwed up world.
I know.
Whatever this quote comes out
I
to,
know.
this car, for the record, is actually like more expensive than the Tesla
Is it really?
by $10,000.
How much is the quote?
No. This
no.
car
Oh,
is
this
more.
car is
Oh, it's more
Okay.
valued
Okay.
higher.
Okay.
Valued
That's
higher.
funny.
Okay. Wow, because that's
You were like, what? It's a Mercedes.
No, it's
No, it's a Honda
no, it's the pilot.
Oh, okay.
I just
Do the same thing, I'm gonna say
That car,
financed.
but I had a picture of it in my.
Oh, okay. Thought it was your car.
Say the same thing.
But more onto the like inflation stuff, or not even inflation in
yeah,
general,
well,
but
I
like
figure this out.
what? So inflation, right? It goes up like during COVID, particularly like 9% or whatever for in 2020, 2021, and then like the whole debate now is like you can cool it now, but the 9% jump is still there. It's built in now to the pricing. But I'm like how? Like I understand that you can't have negative inflation, but so what? We're just screwed. Like that's the thing. They're like, well, look,
Well, no, I mean,
inflation
okay.
happens, and now you have to live in
I-
this world where everything's too expensive.
You can't really get into the whole thing. Like
Well,
you'd probably be the best
actually,
one to research it. To be honest with
Fun
you.
interjection. You can on Geico identify as unknown or non-binary. They
Well,
ask
do
for
male
gender
for now. Do
Well,
I'm
there
gonna do
you
male
are.
for now because that's what I identify as. but
Call
Oh,
us
but it
tomorrow.
says gender.
You can.
Call
It
us
does say
tomorrow.
gender, and you can.
There's gonna be a
identify.
question later about sex, and that gender question is just to throw you off
make
the
you
scent.
feel good.
Like, no, we're good guys. We care.
Or they just assume male so they could get the higher rate. no
Yeah,
matter
they probably
what.
do
They
that.
probably
They're
just
like, hey, if you
assume
want to be
male.
non-binary, you're paying the male rate.
Yeah.
So good on you.
I'm gonna call up tomorrow and get mine changed.
Anyway, back to your point, Mike. You have to look at a lot of factors, right? And if the salaries aren't keeping up with the inflation, that's where the problem comes in.
And the salaries are not.
They haven't, but that's like a larger. I mean, so like wage stagnation has been going on. Forget about 2020. It's been like I think 30 years or something that like inflation's gone up.
Yeah, but there's a period
whatever.
of time where they were converging.
In the 1900s. Like
No,
I don't
no,
think
no, no.
2000s. I
Recently.
don't think so.
Look it up. Look up the chart. I have my phone. There's a chart. They were
I don't have mine either.
wage growth
I'm using
was
the code.
kind of converging. The spike in the
But I guess my point being, if wage
spike
growth,
in the inflation happened.
if right now, if today, inflation got fixed, I don't know, whatever, and it's at 3%, right, which is typical, 3%, and then wage growth, whatever it is or has been, now it's at 4%. So wage growth is outpacing inflation, but we already had 20 years of you know what I mean? It was already not correct for 20 years. That doesn't get wiped away by a year of wage growth. You know what I'm saying? Like
but
that's
prices
what
will
confuses
roll-
me about the
prices
percentages.
Will roll
though.
back a bit though, right?
You would think,
They will. But everything has to come down.
yeah.
You know,
But they don't. But nobody's gonna want to do that. All these people are making money. Like what? You know what I mean?
They're
Like
still gonna make money.
Think about price gouging, right? Which is like I guess what Kamala Harris is pinning inflation on. She's saying it's not really inflation; it's more so price gouging. And it's like there's the whole debate about like if you want to do it in the entire economy across the country, you like can't really legislate it without getting into price controls, which end up with other issues, whatever. But particularly when it comes to like the hurricane, right? This most recent Milton and Helene. That apparently people down there, whoever has the water and stuff, they're like, it was $2 2 weeks ago, but there's a hurricane. There was just a hurricane, so now it's 10. And I'm like,
That's it.
but you can't stop that.
Right.
Other
Well,
than
price-
people being
okay,
bad
so
people,
price-
like people are
price
bad people
gouging,
doing that.
you
No,
can-
I know
yeah,
it's
there
different
are
than
laws
inflation.
against it. And if you get caught doing it, I remember Honda.
Yeah, but
Honda,
how?
Honda got in big trouble years ago.
Honda?
Yeah,
For what?
because they jacked up. Maybe it was during Sandy. It might have even been during Sandy.
What was it?
Because they jacked up the price of their generators.
Oh.
You can't just do that arbitrarily because of one storm that takes place or whatever.
Yeah,
And
but if they're
it
hiding
wasn't
behind
Honda,
inflation,
I apologize to
but,
Honda.
but I
think
guess
it
what
was.
I'm
But
thinking,
what point
my
is it?
larger point
They
is
think
like,
price
how
gouging
can
is
you?
valid because it's hiding behind inflation.
Yeah, like how much car insurance, right? They get to go, well, tools went up, skilled labor went up, all these things, 5 things. I'm like, but is there a mathematical thing that they can show me for it? And there might be, I'm not saying there isn't, but like if there isn't, how can you really discern price gouging, right? Because like it might be as not easy, but yeah, if I went to a single Home Depot after the hurricane and they're like, generators are now $1 million each,
There is
or
a way-
whatever.
there is a
That's
way to
an
do
easy
it.
proof.
There is a
But
way to do
insurance,
it.
they can just keep hiding behind all these other factors.
Insurance could, yes. But insurance has always been, you pay it and you get nothing out of it unless you need it, right?
And you
Yeah,
still
well,
at
yeah.
some point in time, the insurance company say, look, you paid me $10 million over
Stop.
a lifetime.
We got you.
We got you for the rest
You'll
of
be
your
okay.
life.
Yeah, you get in a car accident, we have enough
That's it.
for you.
They should, but they don't, right? So they keep making money. Like I've owned my house for 20, almost 30 years. I've put 2 claims in. They were legitimate claims. The first one I got paid on. The second one they said was neglect on my part. It was a steam pipe leaking in a wall that didn't show any place.
in a wall.
Yeah, it showed as a drip on the roof.
I hate these people. I really do.
yeah.
I really do.
So
I mean,
that was neglect on your part. I'm like the thing was in the wall. Like I couldn't see it leaking until it made such an amount of water that it looked like the roof was leaking. Because
was that
steaming up.
one?
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, so I opened up the whole roof and everything to
Yeah.
find that the steam pipe was leaking halfway down the wall where they put an improper joint in. That is not but I didn't get paid on that one.
Wow.
Did you get a quote, man?
Yeah, to interject, the quote is it's going to end up being around $18,000 per year, $9,000 for 6 months. This policy,
Not bad. $18,000 is not bad.
Not bad.
Well, I mean, it's half of what he was going to pay for the Tesla. So
I guess that's
get
true.
yourself a 2021 Honda Pilot.
It's more.
and you'll be
I
all
can't
right.
afford it. It's more expensive than the Tesla. So when I save money on the car price, I have to. Then I get to what's it called?
They're getting anyway.
Pay more in
Like,
the
to get back
insurance.
to-
If I get the lower car price, I have to pay. less in insurance.
They don't want you to have a car. man.
Whatever happens, I can't
Get
drive.
a bicycle. Get a good bicycle.
So like,
Just wait till they start charging insurance for that, because they will.
They will.
Yeah.
Because they will. The second there's like more bicycles than cars,
Yeah.
It's getting close.
100%. I mean, it's kind of health insurance because if you get a bicycle accident.
No, there's some states where I seen it on something where they now, well, one, they do electric bikes. You have
oh,
to,
yeah.
They're doing it on that, but
Those are all
also
over.
but also if you drive the bike through the city, you have to have insurance. I saw some state
Like car
trying to-
insurance or just
like
what personal
like a
what-
It's
no like a
insurance is
liability?
so
it's like a bike insurance. I
insane.
guess for like if you bump into another car.
yeah.
or
I mean, it
something
would
like
be the
that.
same thing.
Right, but they're gonna start doing
insurance is so crazy.
They're gonna.
It's just-
They would charge insurance for 8-year-olds riding their bikes in parks if they could.
that. Oh hell yeah!
Like if they could, you know. That's why I hate like
They make it to
the
that
top
point.
people. You know, not like your average person who works in an insurance company, but like I'm like, man, you guys are all crooks. Like they're all crooks.
does it
How are they
kill-
so
I
unabashedly
know.
bad people?
That's what I'm saying.
That's wild.
There's
to me.
no. I can't believe there's no insurance company that with just like a little bit of transparency. That's just like this is why we're charging. Like this is like
yeah,
$8,000.
like, publish the thing, say, like,
$8,000
pricings
for
have gone
this. This is why. This is exactly what because it demonstrated this risk and this is how much we think it's going to cost us and that's why you have to pay. Like did it kill you? To spend, like
Well,
you're just giving
price
me 30
transparency
you're
is the
just- you're
antithesis
just
of these people.
Giving me $3,000 a month and just saying like yeah you have to pay that. Because,
I mean, dude, look at the
because of
hospital
this.
things, and like, I don't know. It's really the insurance companies, I guess, in cahoots with all this. But like, that you can go in Advil. I can buy ibuprofen.
It's like $70.
I can buy whatever
250
canister,
capsules.
250 capsules for like I don't know, $30, whatever.
Right.
You go to the hospital. 2 of them are like $600,
Yep.
and I'm like, what? Like, let me go outside. I'll buy my own. You know what I mean? But I'm like, so who is doing this though? Like, at what point is this becoming a thing where you're just lying about the cost of stuff because the insurance company is going to pay for it, but really it messes
You
up my
paying-
life.
Right.
And that's
I'm like,
why-
you guys
Insurance.
just chop it up amongst yourselves, and you're like, yeah, this guy's visit to the hospital for 2 days was $10,000
Yep.
for 8 ibuprofen and like I don't know a cast or whatever.
When Presley was born, we were
It's
up all
corruption.
night. We were up
It
all
is,
night.
it
I had
is.
such a headache.
We would have to go back to previous episodes when we talked about people being in office too long. People get money from the insurance companies, the medical insurance companies, and that money has to keep rolling.
It's
in.
sickening.
So they
It's
make
sickening.
more
It's
and more
absurd.
Based on
It's
the rules
absurd.
that are made up. It's corruption in the government. Is what it is.
I was saying that I had a headache after Presley was being born because I did so much work.
yeah.
So I asked the nurse for an Advil, and they wouldn't give it to me.
They shouldn't. You know how much that would have cost you?
I know, but that's why they wouldn't give it to me because it wasn't
$9,000.
my
Good.
insurance.
Good for them.
Yeah.
But
Good for
like
them.
it just goes back because they couldn't charge me for it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, one of my he avoided the bill, luckily, but one of my friends
I
at
think a
school.
nurse would be walking around with Advil in her pocketbook anyway.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah, just
Just because.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, but hey,
probably a
I guess
fireball
she just-
offense.
Well, that's
She
what
didn't
they
wanna
say-
help him,
They
you
say
know?
like
She
get
did not
itemized
he was probably
bills.
complaining the whole time. She's like, your wife's going through labor. And he's like,
And he was like,
you have a
"Oh,
nicer chair. So-
Why don't I have
he's
a
like, I've
bed?
been sitting,
Why don't I-
I've been sitting in this
Wow,
chair for
were
6
you
hours.
guys there? Wow, it sounds spot on.
Couldn't take him anymore.
No, but one of my friends had a rough night at school and pretty much like ended up in an ambulance to the hospital. Obviously, he gets out I believe he got the bill. I don't know how he ended up
Told
getting.
this story recently. Just tell
Did I
me.
tell it on this? Oh, if I did, then I apologize.
I don't remember.
I don't remember it.
Well, I believe that the ambulance ride alone, not counting he was like only there overnight, the hospital visit. The ambulance alone, I think, was $7,000. And I'm like, what are they charging you for? Like, are they saying you're giving us $7,000 because you weren't really that injured and somebody else might have died because we were carrying you?
We're punishing
So
you.
we're just punishing you, or is gas in ambulances $7,000 for 2 miles, which is obviously a lot. Like, it makes no. I'm like, you guys, somebody's lying.
Next time,
about what
hire
either
a party
this
bus.
costs or what you're charging me for. Like, if at the end of the day, if the insurance is like, this is punitive because we could have been helping somebody else, it's like, is that how that works? Like, fine, like, but it's not. But if that was the answer, at least I could say, all right, show me price it out for me, because that doesn't make sense. You're not giving the money to the guy's family who died. Yeah, if you're like, you picked me up, oh, I got too drunk, fell, like, whatever, I'm an idiot. We're gonna charge you $7,000 because somebody died tonight that this ambulance wasn't available for. I'm like, yeah, but that $7,000 ain't going to him. So, not that,
No, but
I
you're
know
right.
that's not what they're doing. I'm
You're
just
right.
saying,
What it is.
tell me
is,
what it is.
What it is you're right. That's because they figure the insurance companies will pay, so the hospital gets more money because they basically turn a profit on charging the insurance company.
Yes, those things are all negotiated between the insurance
Oh, they are.
companies and the hospitals.
They are.
Yeah.
So ridiculous. I mean, it's the same thing with like the
Everybody's
student.
making money, man.
I
Everybody's
think-
making money.
I don't know if it's like
I can't even drive.
can't even get a car.
Well,
I don't know if it's like a fact or whatever. If it's a contentious report or whatever. But I believe it's like a similar thing that happened with the reason
Look for
why.
an old Saturn.
What's it called? It's gone so high. Not student loans, but with student loans and just the price of college is because to go to college, it just costs a certain amount of money. You can take out a loan that's guaranteed by the government or whatever, and then them and the schools just like chop it up.
Yeah.
And so now the schools are like, well, they'll take out loans and they can pay them till they die.
Yeah, so we could just.
So we'll just charge them $1 million bucks.
Right.
Now to get a
$60,000 a
4-year degree,
year.
it's $85,000 a year. I'm like, what changed from 10 years ago? How much better did your school get? It's the same building. Like, especially I didn't go to Ivy League. Good for them, whatever. They might be the only, just for the name alone, they charge the money, obviously.
Right.
But I'm like, those schools generally are old schools. That's their whole thing. They're not constantly adding new wings and this exciting new. I'm sure that they're science. They probably have a new science building every whatever. But I'm like, how'd your pricing go up that high? You're just paying your professors more?
Talk about universities now.
They're not.
Well, I was just saying it's the
They're not
same
even
thing where
paying
like
universities.
what I believe happened
I mean, the
is
professors more.
schools. It used to be it was cheap enough that you can afford to pay it, so they expected you to pay it, either like a side job if your parents could help you out, whatever, right? And then I imagine people started like it was getting a little bit more expensive, and then people were like, oh, if I can take a loan, I can again help whatever. If I can delay it, I have the loan for 4 years or whatever. Then I start paying it once I get a job. But that was like when college guaranteed you a good job, and it was actually a marker of something. Now it means nothing. A degree means zero to most people. Depends on the thing. Like obviously medical and
undergraduate
lawyers.
degrees.
Well, but the only people who need to go to college are doctors and lawyers.
Right.
Everybody else can do like what is more similar to a trade school. Like even accounting, you don't need to go to. I don't
On-the-job
need to
training.
take humanities or anything. Yeah. So like it's all that's part of the whole thing. But in the same way, like with insurance, where it goes, the schools start realizing they're like, well, whatever we charge, they already can't afford it. So they're taking a loan. What's our difference between them taking a $20,000 loan and a $40,000 loan? Because the government just pays us, and then they just owe the government until they die, and then until their kids die.
Right.
Everybody wins except for these people who are saddled with
Those
debt
people have to pay.
for their entire lives.
It's another scam.
But that's it. But that's why it's going up, and I'm like,
17-year-olds have to
can
go.
somebody?
going up because
like,
the,
don't you
know,
think
don't
somebody
forget
would
now,
want to? Like,
professors get paid more.
but how
they-
is
they
there
really-
no
I
good
honestly-
people?
More administrators there.
How are there no good people at the like? Not one guy is like, this is happening, and we need to
wrong.
stop
Because
this.
one guy's not enough.
one good guy.
Because everybody's
Yeah.
greedy.
One guy's not enough.
Even a team. I mean, you would think there's some good people out there who are
I
like,
think-
we're,
Like Johnny
we're
was saying
scalping
before
people.
we started. Why does what is it? North Korea?
North Korea.
North Korea.
Yeah,
why,
I guess that's a
why
good
do they
point,
all
actually.
Get together, right?
That is a good point.
It's because they feel oppressed. They feel like they have no shot at
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
no shot at changing anything. And if they try, they'll just make it worse somehow. So.
Yep. I also think the few that you do have in that want to make a change end up getting greedy too. They can't change it. They see what they can get.
Yeah,
They're
I mean,
like,
look at
"Screw
AOC.
it."
They're fighting a
Look
machine.
at AOC,
They're
right?
fighting a machine.
She, as much as I hate her politics and think she's an idiot, it seemed like when she was first running and like got into office that she was actually like about helping people,
Yeah.
which I can respect.
It took her about
And
6 months to realize that
6 months, and
that
she
she's
sells.
in a money-making industry.
Yeah, and
just
now she's
sell
all on
whatever you
board.
want. Exactly.
She's all on board. I'm like, that's crazy.
Yep.
Like you really see it
I'll
real.
pedal-
You see
yeah.
real time. This person who was like
Yep.
as close to a grassroots, like was a bartender.
Yep.
Yeah.
Her campaign, she had no money, all this stuff, and then now she's just a shill. Like she's just one of the other
And
people
what's,
in.
and what's her
like,
net worth already? Probably
oh, I'm sure it's.
a couple million. I'd
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't looked, but I'm sure it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I doubt it's nothing. She's not giving all her money away.
Right.
She lives in some
You
nice
think
nice
it's
apartment
just-
in DC.
You think it's
Yep.
like just the feeling, or you think there really is like actual pressure? Like, someone actually sits you down and says like, "Hey, You can't change this thing that you're trying
it's
to
a little
change.
of both.
I don't know. Probably
Yeah,
a bit
it's
of
a
both.
little
Probably a
both.
bit of
It's
both.
not going. Yeah,
Probably
It's a little
like
both
you think
because
there's
the pressure
private
comes with, listen,
conversations where they really
the pressure
sit
comes
down
with
and
sit
say,
down, be quiet, and you'll do this. You'll make this.
Yeah.
And you'll, you know, and then
And there
people
has to
go,
be
well,
someone at
what
some
am I
point
gonna
that
do?
says that.
What am I gonna do? Lose
Yeah.
my job?
if I-
Lose, you know.
If I can't make
I got
the
a
change,
good
I
gig.
might
I
as well
have to
make
do.
money.
I have to do no work, and I get
told-
paid a ton of
and I-
money.
and I told
That's
this
their whole
story
thing
before.
in Congress
I
and the
know a
Senate.
guy-
They're like, I do nothing, and I get paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
I don't want to mess this up.
I know a guy who came from a private industry and working for a city agency, you know, and he went there, and after 2 weeks, maybe it was a little more than 2 weeks, maybe it was like a month or whatever, he got called into the office, and they told him, you got to slow down. You're making us all look bad. He was like closing out jobs that were open for 10 years, and he was just thought he was doing a good job. And they're like, you got to slow down. You're making everybody look bad. He's like, this is just the way I work. What am I going to do? And they're like, no, you don't understand. You know, we
Don't
have,
do anything.
Wasn't
Right.
that?
You
They're
gotta
paid
on
to
a
be
certain
idiots.
schedule.
Didn't we
They're
hear
paid
that
to be
from,
slow, which
from
is-
Gus at one point too? Like, remember changing tires
Yeah.
and stuff?
Yeah.
Like, they would tell us we'd have to take 8 hours to change
8
the
hours
tire.
to change a tire. You know, like it's
What?
It's you know, so
crazy.
it's a little bit of both, Matt. It's a little bit of greed because it's easy once you start seeing that money. Coming
Yeah, I
in,
definitely
saying,
think like a lot of people
know,
just fold, like just would just.
I think
say,
when you get up
"This
to
is
like politics,
comfortable,"
there
and-
is also coercion. Too.
But I think I feel like at some point,
Yeah,
like,
but
especially for
but
someone
part
like
of the
AOC, they
coercion
had
is-
to
it's
like
the money. Yeah,
sit
yeah, for
tight.
sure.
You're gonna make
Well,
some
yeah,
money. You know,
but
don't worry. You know, people will be fine. Don't worry.
Yeah, yeah.
Can
You
we
know,
still get
I
into
just feel like
politics?
Exactly.
at a certain point, like for someone like AOC,
We got to wrap this up soon.
they had to like sit down and say,
What,
So,
so we can get
hey,
into
bottom
politics?
line
Yeah, I'm
is-
Sure.
sure.
Because
Whatever
she
you want-
was like, that was
Yeah,
her
that's
whole
what I'm saying,
thing,
like,
and then she just
they had to sit
disappears
down
into
and
the
be like,
wash.
Hey, whatever you wanted to do, it's not gonna work that way. Like,
So just take the money now.
So everything goes up. It's all related to, in my opinion, corruption at the highest levels across the board.
yeah, and I can't get a car,
And that's why Matt
That's
can't get a
crazy.
car. That's it.
and that's why I should have been more mad about that ticket.
Yes,
Yeah, you should have fought it.
Stuff.
You might have
You
not
laughed
been here.
at us.
It would have only been
I
$25,000.
didn't laugh.
I
I didn't laugh at you.
I mean,
I didn't laugh at you. I just
honestly,
said,
Matt,
Yeah, it goes to big
even
deal.
without the ticket,
It's just a
I mean,
ticket.
$8 grand's a
is
lot.
still lot
That's
to
a
pay.
lot.
I agree.
You were willing to
I-
pay
I-
it, but that's
I know
not.
You say
You're still
willing to
getting
pay it,
scammed.
which is shameful. Which is why these things happen.
Yep.
Why? Because we just accept it and move on.
Well, hey, what am I gonna
But
do?
no,
Not have cars?
I agree, Matt. There's like really nothing I would choose today to not pay my health insurance.
Me too.
I think I'm healthy enough, whatever, but I can't, it's like, God forbid something does happen.
happens.
I kind of
Then
need
what?
help.
Then you're done.
Right.
Because I can, I have money. Like I was like, whatever I'm putting into that, I can put in savings and hopefully I can afford it, but I won't be able to because a visit cost $60,000
$7,000
because I'm not supposed to be the one paying it.
Ambulance ride,
Which
right.
is crazy because they're assuming you have insurance. So like, yeah, we're just gonna charge whatever. And I'm like, I just need you to look at my like knee. Like I got to scrape.
that's
Can you
the
tell
thing.
me if I have an infection? I can't do that.
That's the thing.
You know what I
about-
mean?
Mike,
You got to
listen,
run a culture
That's
test.
the thing about
So-
health
It takes
insurance.
Drop your
20 minutes.
insurance. Drop your
Wait,
insurance. If
I-
anything happens to you, we'll sneak
I
you
have
over the
some-
Mexico border.
No, wait.
And
So
you'll be fine.
when
You'll be
I
fully
when I
covered.
when I took my year sabbatical from work, and I didn't work, I went to a doctor for something. I didn't have insurance, and it was cheap, and it was the same doctor I always saw for the same little things I would go for.
Yeah.
And I got a bill, and the bill was like, wow, when you have a job or you have insurance, is when they
They
raise it up.
scalp you.
They
But
screw
I don't
you.
think.
They
I mean,
screw-
if
that
you
shouldn't
have
be
a
Well,
allowed.
that's
job,
why they say.
but
get
if you
the
have
itemized
you
bill
were
at the
unemployed,
hospital.
right?
What?
Like you were unemployed.
Yeah.
It wasn't like
So I had
if you
no-
have a job and don't have, you run into the same issue. I don't think
know.
I would get.
I don't think so.
Are you sure?
I
don't know.
because they
I'm
know the person.
I think it
can't
goes
pay.
into un- unemployment.
Some places do have a rate. Like that's why they say at the hospital get the itemized bill.
Oh yeah.
Because you can call it and say like, no, this does
But
not
what did you do,
cost
Johnny?
this
You
much.
did like a doctor visit, or you did like a hospital visit?
No, I did a doctor visit.
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I would
yeah.
normally do.
Doctor visit.
No, but when I go to the doctor when I have a job with insurance, it's 10 times more.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Look
That's
at
why
look
they
at-
say do the
like-
itemized bill at the hospital
Yes.
because they say you can compare it and say like you're charging the insurance rate. Why?
Right.
Charge.
You guys never get that bill, the insurance bill that says you went to the doctor and they charged this much, and the insurance company
We have to pay it
argued
anyway,
and came
you know?
down
We
to
really
this,
do.
and they agreed on this much, and then you owe that much. You know, whatever.
Yeah,
that
no, I know
little,
what you're talking about.
Right, but at one point, it's probably that lowest number.
That's crazy.
They're screwing you over.
I hate them all.
I hate them all too.
Corruption.
Corruption.
Well, don't get a ticket.
Anyway,
I don't.
we'll end it there. Thanks for listening, and as always,
Stay angry. Oh,
angry.
annoyed and amused.
I know you're amused.